Hello everyone, I'm Febriani Rossa, postgraduate student in communication at LSPR Communication and Business Institute, and today I'm presenting my thesis proposal titled Preemptive Persuasion, a mixed method study of inoculation-based digital messaging and complaint prevention. This study uses Sinar Maslan as a real-world case, focusing on how we can combine classic communication theory with modern digital tools to prevent complaints proactively, not just reactively. First, here's a quick summary. This research explores how inoculation theory, which is usually used in politics and crisis PR, can actually help us shape customer readiness for small building imperfections, especially during the sensitive handover process for new houses. The goal is to test whether proactive messages can reduce complaint intentions and build higher satisfaction. In this research, I explore how inoculation theory can be used proactively in digital customer care, specifically to manage minor building complaints during the residential handover process at Sinar Maslan. This is a real challenge. At Sinar Maslan, even when the physical products meet technical standards, customer often complains about small imperfections, like hairline wall cracks, finishing touch-ups, or natural settling issues. Why is this topic important? For a property developer like Sinar Maslan, the handover process is one of the biggest trust moments. It's when buyers finally see the product they paid for, and even tiny flaw can ruin the experience if expectations are not managed. Part of the problem is that today's customers are not only demanding, they are also hyper-connected. They share experiences on WhatsApp, social media, or community groups, often forwarding information without full context or validation, purely based on emotion. They are also exposed to endless sources about construction, materials, and home building, but they don't always fully understand what's normal in post-construction conditions. This is reflected in Sinar Maslan Customer Satisfaction Index. For example, the building material and quality often scores lower, not because of major defects, but because customers expect zero imperfections, which is unrealistic in real-world building processes. So a small hairline crack can look huge when it goes viral in a chat group, triggering more complaints, more comparisons, and more distrust. This is why traditional one-way information is no longer enough. We need strategic messages that prepare the customer mentally and emotionally. This brings us to the main question of this study. How do customers cognitively and emotionally respond to inoculation-based digital messages? And does this approach reduce complaint intention and increase satisfaction? In short, can we vaccinate our customers' mind so they are ready for small imperfections? Sinar Masland has made big investment in digital. As a jargon as smart digital city, Sinar Masland has built its digital transformation. There's the One Smile app, the Sylvia virtual assistant using WhatsApp, and other smart channels. However, WhatsApp remains the most effective channel for high-volume, personalized communication in Indonesia. It's simple, familiar, and customers trust it for daily updates. Previously, Sinar Maslan relied on reactive explanations. After a complaint happens, customer care team respond. But with over 2,000 units handed over every year, and customer interaction increasing by over 30% annually, relying on reactive communication is no longer sustainable. To manage this growing volume, Sinar Maslan needs a preventive approach that sets realistic expectations before complaints arise. And from the data, it is clear that WhatsApp has become a preferred digital media use. To answer this, my research focuses on two clear objectives. First, to examine how inoculation messages shape cognitive and emotional readiness. Do people understand and accept the information? Second, to test whether these messages actually lower complaints and boost satisfaction. By doing this, the study has two big benefits. Theoretically, It extends inoculation theory beyond politics or crisis PR into daily digital customer service, creating new evidence for preventive strategy communication. Practically, it helps Cinemasland cut repetitive complaints, use customer care resources better, and build stronger trust. And because the messages use WhatsApp, it costs effective and scalable for other projects too. Let's connect this to the theory. Inoculation theory, first introduced by William McGuire in 1961 in sociometry, shows that you can make people more resistant to persuasion by warning them in advance than refuting possible counter-arguments. Burgon, Pfau, and Burke tested this for corporate reputation in communication research. Compton et al. 2021 expanded it for public relation trust building in public relation review, and Ivanov et al. 2016 proved that booster messages, repeated reminders keep the effect strong. So the theory is proven, but is rarely used in everyday customer service environment. This research guided in inoculation theory, a concept rooted in social psychology and communication, explains how to build resistance to persuasion by exposing individuals to weakened counter-arguments, similar to how a vaccine provides immunity against disease. This pre-exposure to a milder form of the persuasive message helps individuals develop counter-arguments and strengthen their existing attitudes or beliefs, making them more resilient to future, stronger persuasive attacks. Inoculation theory has been applied in various contexts, such as health campaigns to encourage vaccination, condom use, and other healthy behaviors. In political communication, to inoculate voters against misinformation and negative campaigning. In essence, inoculation theory offers a strategy for building resistance to persuasion by exposing individuals to weakened versions of counter-arguments, prompting them to actively defend their belief and strengthening their ability to withstand future attacks. Together, these theories create a strong lens for my study. Inoculation theory explains the core mechanism of forewarning plus counter-argument to make customers mentally ready for normal imperfections, while expectation confirmation theory shows that if the message aligns customer expectation with reality, satisfaction improves. And computer-mediated communication remind us that the delivery of WhatsApp and newsletters affects how messages are received and trusted. So the entire framework supports my two objectives, understanding response and measuring the effect on complaints and satisfaction. Here with my references for the study. McGuire laid the foundation in the 60s, Bergen applied it to the corporate PR, and Compton expanded it to modern stakeholder trust. However, its use in day-to-day customer service environment, especially for preventing complaints before they arise, is still very limited. With today's digital channels and customer forwarding information emotionally, this is the gap my study fills, using inoculation messaging to manage perceptions, especially during the sensitive handover stage. Here's how this will look in real use. Before handover, the customer receives a WhatsApp invitation that clearly explaining possible minor imperfections, like hairline crack, that will be framed as normal and covered by a care guarantee. A D-1 reminder, also equipped with things to do during the handover process, including on what to check when inspecting the unit, reinforces this with reassurance that they are ready. After handover, periodic newsletters continue to embed booster inoculation messages, reminding homeowners what's normal and what to do if they see minor issues. This turns one-way notification into anticipatory persuasion, reducing the emotional gap between expectation and reality. So the inoculation project combines proactive WhatsApp messages at key stages and post-handover reinforcement via newsletter with practical home care tips, all to shape realistic expectation, provide clear justification, and prevent misunderstanding from spreading uncontrolled in digital communities. I am using a mixed methodology, a quantitative survey to measure customer perception, readiness, and intention to complain. Qualitative interviews to explore how customers really interpret the message, supported by actual complaint reports and CSI scores. All of this is framed in a post-positivist paradigm, meaning it's data-driven but real-world aware. Finally, this research showed that managing customer satisfaction is not only about fixing problems after they appear, it's about shaping expectation before they explode into complaints. Thank you for listening. I welcome your feedback and questions.